There is an old story about an elephant. When the elephant is young, they tie its leg to something strong. The elephant pulls. It tries once, twice, many times, but it cannot escape. Eventually, it stops trying. Later, when the elephant is older and much stronger, the chain may not even be attached to anything powerful anymore. It may only drag on the ground. But the elephant does not run. Not because the prison is still real, because the prison has moved inside. That is one of the most painful things about self-image. At first, the limit may come from outside us. A parent, a classroom, a rejection, a humiliation, a loss. But after enough repetition, the outside limit becomes an inner border. We stop asking, "What can I leave?" We start saying, "This is just who I am." This episode is about those invisible prisons. In the book Reinventing Your Life, Jeffrey Young and Janet Klosko describe patterns they call lifetraps. The idea is simple and uncomfortable. The wounds we experience early in life can become the situations we recreate later. Not because we enjoy pain, because familiar pain can feel safer than unfamiliar freedom. A child who grows up afraid of being left may become an adult who chooses emotionally unavailable people, then panics when they pull away. A child who grows up with criticism may become an adult who hears judgment even inside ordinary feedback. A child who had to please everyone may become an adult who cannot say no without feeling guilty. The tragedy is that the adult is not only living in the present. They are also responding to an old room, an old parent, an old silence, an old fear. The book describes 11 common traps: abandonment, mistrust and abuse, emotional deprivation, social exclusion, dependence, vulnerability, defectiveness, failure, subjugation, unrelenting standards, and entitlement. But I do not want this episode to feel like a list. A list is too clean for something this human. So let us enter a few ordinary lives. Imagine someone named Daniel. Daniel is in a relationship with a good person. Nothing terrible is happening. But if his partner takes too long to answer a text, his body reacts like danger has arrived. He checks the phone again. He reads old messages. He becomes cold, then apologetic, then suspicious. The adult problem looks like texting. The deeper wound is abandonment. Part of Daniel believes love is temporary, so even when love is present, he is already preparing for its disappearance. Or imagine Sarah at work. Her manager says, "Can you revise this section?" That is all, but Sarah hears, "You are incompetent." She goes home angry. She replays the sentence for hours. She builds a case in her mind against everyone in the office. Why? Because somewhere in her life, correction came with shame. Now feedback feels like attack. That may be mistrust. It may be defectiveness. It may be both. Or imagine Amir, who is liked by everyone. He has friends, a decent job, a family group chat, invitations. But when he is in pain, he tells no one. He has learned to be low maintenance. He smiles before anyone can ask what is wrong. And then, at night, he feels empty and wonders why nobody understands him. That can be emotional deprivation. Not because no one is around, but because somewhere deep inside, he does not expect his real needs to be met. Or imagine Nina. She walks into a party and immediately feels different. Everyone seems to know how to stand, how to laugh, how to belong. Nina is not rejected by anyone in the room, but she is rejected by a story inside her. I do not fit here. That is social exclusion. The room may be safe, but the nervous system is still back in the cafeteria, scanning for where to sit. Or imagine a man who keeps delaying his exam, his business, his application, his project. He says, "I am being realistic." But realism is not always wisdom. Sometimes it is old failure wearing adult clothing. He is not afraid of effort. He is afraid of proving the old voice right. These traps usually move in three directions. Sometimes we surrender. We choose people and situations that confirm the old belief. If I believe I will be abandoned, I may choose someone who keeps leaving emotionally. If I believe I am defective, I may choose people who criticize me. If I believe my needs do not matter, I may stay with people who take and take. Sometimes we avoid. We do not enter the arena at all. We do not date. We do not apply. We do not ask. We do not try. Avoidance feels like safety, but it slowly becomes a smaller life. And sometimes we overcompensate. We become the opposite of the wound. The abandoned child becomes controlling. The powerless child becomes dominating. The shamed child becomes arrogant. The dependent child becomes the person who refuses help from anyone. Overcompensation can look strong from the outside, but it is often fear in armor. This is why self-image is not just an opinion about yourself. It becomes a map. It tells you where you are allowed to go, who you are allowed to love, how much you are allowed to ask for, and what kind of future feels possible. If your self-image says, "People leave," you may mistake anxiety for love. If it says, "People hurt me," you may mistake distance for wisdom. If it says, "My needs are too much," you may mistake silence for maturity. If it says, "I am flawed," you may mistake hiding for safety. If it says, "I always fail," you may mistake not trying for proof that you are being practical. The first step is not to hate yourself for having the trap. The trap was probably an old survival strategy. At one point, it may have helped you get through a house, a school, a loss, a loneliness, or a kind of pain you did not know how to name. But what helped you survive at 7 can imprison you at 37. So the question becomes, how do we begin to leave? Not with one inspirational sentence. Not with pretending the past did not happen. Not with blaming parents forever and building a new identity around injury. We begin by noticing the pattern in real time. When you are about to send the 5th anxious message, pause and ask, is this the present? Or is this an old abandonment story? When you are about to say yes while your body is saying no, ask, am I choosing kindness or am I surrendering to fear? When you are about to avoid the opportunity, ask, is this wisdom or is this the failure trap protecting itself? When you believe everyone in the room is judging you, ask, what evidence do I have right now? This is not easy. The trap does not disappear because you understand it once. The elephant does not run the first moment it sees the chain is loose. It has to test reality again. One small step, one honest conversation, one boundary, one application, one relationship where you do not perform to be kept, one moment of letting someone see you without controlling the outcome. A life trap is not your destiny. It is a pattern, and a pattern can be interrupted. Please put in the comments, what invisible chain have you been carrying longer than you needed to?